Good morning, and thank you for joining us for a very special WOW webinar. My name is Allison Hunter, and I'm Director of Marketing here at WhereWhere. As many of you know, WhereWhere has specialized in marketing automation using IBM Watson campaign automation for over a decade. And most recently, IBM Watson Marketing has become Acoustic. Today, we have Wayne Sadlowski, Chief Strategist and Global Partner Exec for Acoustic, who's going to introduce you to the new Acoustic campaign and provide a little information on what that change means for you. We also have WhereWhere's lead technical marketer, Chris Gruge, who's going to walk through some of our favorite acoustic campaign features that we see many of our clients and marketers are overlooking. But if you're not an Acoustic user yet, don't worry. Many of these features are available across marketing platforms, so we'll make sure you leave today's webinar with some actionable tips regardless of your tool. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that we will be sharing the webinar recording either today or tomorrow. And if you have any questions, just submit them through the chat box and we'll try to answer a few at the end of the session. If we don't get to your question today, we'll follow up with you directly. And with that, I'll let Chris get started.
All right, thank you, Allison. So let me introduce you to WhereWhere a little bit. So WhereWhere is an award-winning digital agency located in Washington, D.C. metro region. And for the past 20 years, we've been specializing in and digital advertising. But we're also 10-year Acoustic Campaign veterans. We were original beta testers and are now daily users of the marketing automation tool with over 25 acoustic specialists experienced in the tool, as well as many other popular marketing automation platforms. As you can see here, we've worked with a variety of customers over the years on marketing automation, web development, and analytics, all spanning B2B e-commerce, B2C e-commerce, and service companies. But before we jump into things about marketing automation, I'm going to pass it over to Wayne, who's going to introduce you all to Acoustic.
Well, thanks, Chris. Can you guys hear me okay?
We gotcha.
Awesome. So, you know, it's been great to continue to deepen our relationship with WhereWhere as we transitioned into Acoustic. And I was just thinking to myself, gosh, I can't believe it's already been a few months since we exited IBM and launched Acoustic. And as you can imagine, it's been an exciting time, sort of moving from blue to teal and all, as I say, for those of you at least who have seen the acoustic.co website. So I'm really excited to be here today and chat with you all. I'll talk a little bit about Acoustic and our Marketing Cloud platform, some developments, and of course, we'll have a discussion at the end, answer some questions as well. Let me just take a moment to share a little bit about WhereWhere and our fantastic relationship and partnership. For those of you who may not know, WhereWhere's got a terrific 25-person marketing team. They've been using our marketing platform for over a decade. I'm getting a little bit of feedback. You guys still hear me okay?
Yep, I think it's good now.
Oh, okay, great. You know, really creating some innovative and impressive campaigns and use cases. And they're experts on our solutions. And they help clients every day elevate their marketing strategy to attract new leads and fix issues and deliverability problems, and just better understand and act on existing customer behaviors to identify new marketing opportunities and execute integrated and automated digital experiences. So let me introduce you a little bit to Acoustic, and you know, sort of what we talk about, you know, to our customers and with our partners is that we know marketing can be better, and this is why we started Acoustic. Acoustic is a new marketing cloud with rich industry-leading history that can help you and your teams unleash their marketing brilliance. And there's a reason it can help you and your team do their best work. You can flip to the next slide, Allison. And this is because it's connected. It's an open and connected ecosystem of click-to-connect integrations that allow you as a marketer to get back to the things that matter. It helps you to set your data free. At Acoustic, we firmly believe in an open architecture, which kind of sets us aside, kind of separates us from other solutions out there as well. We connect with all our competitors and a wide spectrum of other tools important to marketers and sophisticated marketing organizations like yours. We connect to a wide range of tools because we know that, look, the reality of all marketing organizations is that you're using tools that aren't from Acoustic. And therefore, we don't want to settle for one sort of master vendor walled garden environment who, those companies claim to do everything, or at least the bulk of everything. We really offer an open ecosystem that allows you to connect to other marketing products, platforms, and also data sources, including those, as I've said, from competitors, and even to any data sources or tools that you may have built in-house. Any data source that you might have in your enterprise can be connected using our Exchange ecosystem. And it's perfectly designed to set your data free and to work for you to deliver the experiences that your customers are longing for and that you're helping to provide them. Many of you know Acoustic for our campaign tool, and in today's data-driven multi-channel world, we're rivaled like no other time in history to help our customers provide rich, targeted, and relevant experiences to their customers. And Acoustic's full marketing cloud is a platform that can unleash this sort of marketing brilliance. And data and content are keys. Acoustic's intuitive AI-powered marketing cloud is specifically built for marketers, helping them create much more personal connections with their customers. With Acoustic, you can understand the real dynamics of the market and find ways to resonate more than ever. Thanks for that. Okay, so changing gears a little bit, I want to talk about a topic that gets lots of airtime and play in the market today, and that's AI, or artificial intelligence, or machine learning, or one of the myriad of names that you may have heard of. At Acoustic, we have a rich history in AI, obviously with our background, and I might just say that it's the type of AI that is not just a buzzword. We know that artificial intelligence has become a little bit of a crutch in the industry, and we don't think that AI on its own will really do anything for marketers. And this is in the same way that throwing code over the wall at marketers will not change or help how they do their jobs or what they deliver. We really think that every bit of artificial intelligence, if it's going to be built into marketing tools, really needs to be purpose-built for the tools that you use every day. And the best type of AI should really disappear into the tools and software that you already use. Not be additive to what you already do. It should simply help you do your work. If we've done our jobs well, you should notice that your workflow will start to improve and move faster. And it's just something that should help you naturally. It should be built into the tools that you already use every day. And again, if we're doing our jobs correctly, you shouldn't have to look around to find the AI or the AI-powered tools. And this is exactly what we did in the Acoustic Marketing Cloud. You can flip to the next slide. I also wanted to share that we're the largest independent marketing cloud provider. What does that mean? Well, we're now 100% focused on the marketer. We don't do anything else. It's one of the reasons that we've partnered with WhereAware over the years. They're obsessed with focusing on the marketer as much as we are, and they really know marketing and the Acoustic solutions inside and out. If you have any questions, whether it's just getting started or a quick hitting expertise for a complicated program, or want to talk about integration or full service solutions, our friends at WhereAware can answer absolutely any question that you have on the Acoustic solutions. So next slide, please, which I think is my last slide. So we take a closer look at the Acoustic Marketing Cloud and our offering for marketers. This slide here shows you the solution portfolio, at least at a high level. And these are the products that are used to meet the needs of the most demanding marketing teams. And we'll dive into each of them in a few minutes, but before we do, I'd like to point out that this collection of offerings supports the entirety of a marketer's workflow, from design and building of campaign to executing across email and mobile and social and more, to developing content, to understanding every aspect of a customer's experience using analytics, regardless of whose that might be, to personalizing those experiences in a way that is targeted, relevant, and fresh for each individual customer. And of course, all of this is connected across the ecosystem, which allows for the exchange of data and events through the Marketing Cloud solutions and other products as well that you and your teams may be using. So with that, I'll pass it back to Chris to reveal some of the favorite features within Acoustic Campaign. Chris?
Thank you, Wayne. Yeah, so as Wayne was saying, we here at WhereWhere, we know Acoustic and we know marketing automation. So what I want to jump into is trying to show you some of the features within Acoustic that we see on a day-to-day basis that some of our clients either don't realize is in the tool or maybe just not utilizing effectively. So let's jump into it. A great thing to have in marketing automation is the ability to create a full campaign from start to finish without ever having to leave a tool. And in Acoustic, you can actually strategize and develop your campaign utilizing the many different features they have to offer. So let's jump in and I'll show you how easy it is to actually get started. So whether it's just a few emails or maybe a series of emails within your campaign, you can build them all with total control of your HTML here. You can build emails to promote an event, promote new content, product sales. It's all customizable right here. And when you're building your emails, one of the features we actually really like and utilize a lot is that you can see a live preview on the right-hand side as you're making changes to your email. So you have a really good idea of what the end user is going to see before you even send out your email. You can even personalize those emails to the individual reader. So utilize the data that you have in your database for what you already have on your readers to give them a personalized one-to-one experience using dynamic content. You can easily create those rules to hide or show content if the readers meet certain criteria. And in this example that we're showing you, we're actually personalizing the end of the email to show the sales rep face to the end user to kind of give them a familiar face so that they know who they're talking with. You can even build a more robust omni-channel experience and point your email links to a custom-built landing page that you have total control over. So you have the same capabilities here that you have in email with personalization and dynamic content. You can even build your forms to update the user's profile, which can then be used in other campaigns or future emails. Landing pages are really powerful because they are directly connected to your database, so any of the information you already have on someone can be used here to further personalize with that one-to-one experience. So, for example, you can pre-fill form fields if the user has already submitted it to you, which we've seen actually really helps with reducing form abandonment. But with the interact with your campaign. One of the features we really like here, lead alerts, are a really good use case to notify your internal stakeholders when someone has performed a specific action. So, for example, when someone submits a form, you can notify anyone on your team with an instant email that shows who performed that action and what data they may have submitted over to you. So if someone's signing up for an event or signing up to download new content, you can funnel them to your team who can ultimately take action further if needed. Those lead alerts can even link to profile data for each of the individual readers, which is called their contact insights. So in here, you can see the full profile, which includes any data you have on that particular person, what emails they've received in the past, what actions that they've taken, such as like clicks, web page views, form submissions, and you can even see if they're currently engaged in any sort of automated programs that you currently have running. Another great feature that we love, which can make your life easier, is scoring models. These can actually weed out some of the colder leads to help you reach your most engaged users on a day-to-day basis. So how it works is that you set point values that run in the background and give each user in your database a score. So these point values add up, and the rules can be based on demographic data, behaviors that the user has taken, such as like clicked an email, submitted a form. You can score them on how recent a particular action was taken, and even how frequently an action is actually taken. So the idea behind scoring models here is that the more engaged the user is, the higher the score that they can accumulate. Then you can create a model that will mark someone as a hot lead because they've exceeded a certain score because they have a ton of engagement, or you can even label someone as cold if they have not accumulated enough points because of little engagement. And so with scoring models, you can set different point values depending on how much they are engaged. Another really big feature that but we don't see a lot of clients utilizing effectively is relational tables. And relational tables are a fantastic way to store more information about your readers without clogging up your main database. So let's see a few examples of how powerful these relational tables can actually be for you. Relational tables can be seen as an extension of your database. So you can see on the right-hand side, you see that Joe Smith is one of our subscribers in our database. But we want to be able to collect more information about Joe that's not directly tied to his profile data. We want to capture specific events related to Joe, and these events can then ultimately be stored in your relational table so that they don't clog up his database record. So some really good examples that are powerful in email include collecting Joe's order history, which we've collected from the website. So Joe may have ordered one time or 10 different times, but regardless, we can see every item that he's purchased and when that item was purchased. Or maybe Joe added some items to his cart and then ultimately abandoned his cart. We could collect all the items that were in his cart and then trigger an email asking if he's still interested. Relational tables are also really great for storing B2B sales rep information without directly adding the sales rep entire profile to Joe's profile. So for example, let's say Joe's been working with the sales rep Alan, and we want to personalize emails to Joe with all of Alan's contact information. We can ultimately store all of Alan's contact information in the relational table and use that in our emails for personalization. So the idea behind that is multiple people in your database can all be speaking with the sales rep Alan, and you can utilize that relational table to personalize those emails from that table. And here's two really great examples of emails utilizing relational table data, which are personalized for each individual subscriber. So the first example here on the left, we're asking the readers to reorder a product that they have previously purchased, and for this instance, it's actually at a discount. They've purchased it before, so the likelihood of them purchasing again is actually really high, and ultimately when they see this email, the goal is to have them repurchase it right after reading it. But on the right-hand side, we're actually engaging the subscribers who added items to their cart but didn't follow through with that purchase. So they can either purchase the entire cart if they were still interested, or they can pick and choose items from that cart to be able to purchase. Within that email, we give them the ability to do either one. But what if you actually need to notify somebody on your team if somebody ultimately does make that purchase or they do convert through your campaign? A really great feature that we like to utilize is creating automated lead routes, which will run on a set schedule of your choosing, and you can provide somebody with a list of all customers who have or have not performed that particular action. So for example, you can send it to your sales team who can ultimately follow up with somebody personally if they need to. Something else that Acoustic really allows us to benefit from is real-time behavior. So some of these items are really easy for you to set up. So I'm actually going to jump into a couple examples to see how easy it is to get started with that. Automated behaviors in Acoustic can be easily configured for your account, easy to use on a day-to-day basis. So automated behaviors, these run continuously and update for you when you can see a date of the last time someone sent an email, when the last opened an email, and when they ultimately maybe clicked in the email. So this is actually super easy way to get a good reference of your most engaged subscribers and can help you to make stronger queries and better list segmentations to ensure that you're actually reaching the most engaged users. So the setup is super easy. This does require you to be an org admin user. So assuming that you are the org admin user, you can go into your organization settings. And one of those options that you can select from is the automated behavior updates. You'll open this and see if it's already been configured. If it's not, you can actually click that edit button and you're going to see a screen that looks something like this. So you have to tie it back to your main database, and then you can choose any one or all of these options. So you can choose if you want to map into your database the last open date, click date, and send date. So you attach that database, select the ones that you need, and then ultimately save it, and it's good to go from there. One thing to note here, though, when you do select one of these options, you need to make sure that the database field is already preset up for you so that it knows where to map that particular data. And once it's all set up, you can use this in your send queries to make sure that you can better segment your send list from here. So this could be a default rule that you add to all of your queries for greater control and know that you're emailing your recipients, that you're not emailing your recipients too frequently within a short period of time, and you're sending emails to your subscribers who actually are most active. But on the flip side, you can actually trigger a re-engagement campaign if you see someone hasn't been engaging with a specific amount of time. And it's all super easy once this automated real-time behavior has been updated. And here's actually a really good example of what we're talking about. So for one of our customers, MudPie, we're triggering that re-engagement email automatically when someone hasn't opened one of your emails in the last 6 months. And if it works, we can mark this person as an engaged user again. If not, we can ultimately remove them from our send list, since the likelihood they will engage in the future, it will typically be slim to none. But now what about reporting? So we need to make sure that these campaigns are working and that we can see some success from these campaigns. Or if they aren't working, maybe make some adjustments and see if the needle moves in any one direction. So I'm going to show you some of our favorite reports that we look at all the time. The click-through report is a really powerful report because we can see where people are clicking the most, and this is actually really good information that can change the design of your emails to make them perform a little bit better. All the time we see too many calls to actions in the body of the email, but this can actually, what we've seen, confuse your subscribers as it's not clear what you want them to click on. So use this report to see if one design is more effective than the other. Maybe including calls to action close to the top of the email will convert more users, or maybe removing sections of your header and footer if they don't receive any engagement. So the goal we like to achieve in our email designs is clean and concise, and this report shows us if we're doing that correctly. You can also visualize your reporting metrics much better than you could in the past by utilizing performance insights. The same email engagements that you're used to seeing in an Excel sheet is automatically converted to better visual graphs and charts, so you can easily see trends or dips which can help make decisions for the next steps in your campaign. So this allows you to drill down deep to see where you can make improvements, or you can see what you're doing right so that you can continue doing that moving forward. These same reports can actually be segmented to see how different audiences stack up using audience management. So you can see who's interacting the most with different content, or you can see how well a campaign performed with one segment versus another. And if one of your audiences didn't have great engagement, you know you can make some changes focused primarily on that particular audience, and then go back and check your reporting to see if the needle moves in any one direction or the other. And the great thing about Performance Insights reports is that they're shareable. So everything that you see in Acoustic can be shared with internal or external stakeholders who aren't using Acoustic like you are. So Acoustic will give you a shareable URL that you can send directly to them, and they don't need a login to actually see that report. But let's say, for example, these reports aren't necessarily giving you what you need. I'm going to show you a little bit more about how we can actually extract more data from Acoustic, but just know that this does get a little bit technical, so you may need to have somebody a little bit more technical on the team to help you out with this. You can extract more data using the API test harness, but it does require somebody on your team to be familiar with APIs and XML. So this test harness can be used to set different calls to see what gets pulled from the tool. And once you've perfected that specific call, you can then automate that call to get that data on a more regular basis. And some of our favorite calls that we use every single day are actually listed up here. So I would say the raw recipient data export is probably the most used call because it gives us a ton of valuable information, such as all of the action performed by all of our individual users within a given time frame. The web tracking report is actually really valuable behavior information that shows all web and form activity across the subscribers for a given time. So you can see what pages they're viewing, what forms they're submitting. It's all very useful information to see, so you can see if there's any trends or dips within the user experience. And on this side here, the mass calculate query is really beneficial because calculating one query is easy, but calculating 100 queries is not easy. So this call actually allows you to choose all of the different queries that you need to calculate all at once, and the job will get started automatically, making sure that's done for you. A couple more calls that we like to utilize with the test harness here. So you can use any one of these different calls. So you can update a person's profile data using the update recipient call. You can import or export lists by utilizing the FTP. Or you can create databases or relational tables directly within the tool, and you can even update those tables using a similar call without having to manually do any of it. And lastly here, you can delete data in different tables using the purge data call. So all of these are very powerful calls that can allow you to quickly and easily perform tasks or build better reports. So now where do we take it from here? So I've shown you a couple of the big features that we see a lot of clients maybe not utilizing correctly or maybe not know it's available. So now that we know this, I'll kick it off to Allison and we can learn a little bit more of what we can help you with.
Thanks, Chris. We are right on time, which I know you just got through a ton of material in only 25 minutes, so thank you. Before, we are going to take a couple questions. It looks like we have more than we'll be able to take just in this one sitting. But before we do, I did want to introduce you to a special offer that we have currently on a marketing audit. The marketing audit will look at all aspects of your marketing automation use. This can go across platforms. And we'll look at your database, we'll look at your data health, deliverability, provide some recommendations on campaigns that you might be skipping or different tools and tactics in campaign that you're not currently using. So if you're interested in getting some more information about the marketing audit, please email sales@wherewhere.com by September 30th. And otherwise, if you have any questions about the specific tactics that we just shared today, do reach out to us and we're very happy to get on a call and talk you through it. Okay, so I'm going to get started with just about 3 so we don't take you too long over. This one I know is a pretty frequent question among our clients. It comes from Michelle. She says that we're not currently using relational tables, so how do we get started?
So that really depends on the type of data that you have accessible to you, essentially. So in some of the examples that we had shown you previously in the webinar is that we were collecting data from the website on purchase information. So if you or somebody on your team have access of being able to utilize some of that data from the website, that would be a really good use case to start using relational tables for. But relational tables are easy to set up, so you can do it all within the Acoustic tool. So in a similar fashion that you created your databases previously, you can go ahead and create those relational tables for you, directly connect them to that database that you're using, kind of like your master database, and it'll automatically be connected. So it's as easy as figuring out what field in your relational table is going to directly connect into your database, and then you can kind of move forward with that.
Okay, thank you. This one comes from Brandon. It is, he's asking what the difference between lead alerts and lead routes are.
That is a good question. So lead alerts are actually automated one-time emails that get sent to one person or a list of different people. And so those can be configured based on essentially actions. So what the lead alert's purpose is to give you a real-time response anytime somebody takes a particular action or does whatever it is that you've set it up to notify you of. But lead routes are a little bit different in a way that lead routes can only be used in your programs. And how you set up a lead route is that you connect it to a particular track within your program, and you set the schedule of when that email is supposed to notify somebody. So they work a little bit the same way in the terms of lead alerts, that you can notify one person or multiple people, but you set the schedule of when that email is supposed to be sent out. So a really good example of using lead routes here is actually, so if myself and Wayne signed up to attend this webinar, on the lead route, Allison would receive an email saying every, let's say Monday, 9 a.m. is when she scheduled it. She'll receive an Excel file to download, and it'll say myself and Wayne have signed up to attend the webinar. But with lead alerts, it's a little different. So as soon as Wayne signs up for the webinar, Allison directly gets an email. And let's say 2 hours later, I sign up for the webinar, Allison will receive another email saying that I have signed up for it.
Okay, so it's really just about your preference and your use case.
Exactly.
Okay, this will be our last question. This one comes from Sarah. This is a challenge for all of our clients, I know. So she wants to know how, or does Acoustic have features that help with deliverability?
Yes. So you can access deliverability ports in the classic reporting tool, and as well as the new reporting tool in Performance Insights. So the classic reports, you can run a specific deliverability report for specific emails or across all emails that you've sent within a specific time frame. But in Performance Insights, it's a little bit different because this can be added on as a card for any of the reports that you've created. But I mean, really in both reports, you can see very visually trends or dips in deliverability so that you know if you need to take action, you can know about when that started, and you can essentially figure out what to do from there.
Okay, thank you. And just adding on to that, I know Acoustic also just has a lot of different tools for email best practices in general, which is one way to ensure that you keep your deliverability score high. Okay, so anybody else it looks like I have about 7 more questions that I will follow up with you directly. Again, I thank you so much for joining us. Chris, thank you for all that information. And Wayne, I really appreciate your time today. I know our audience was really excited to hear directly from you. We do a webinar every month. Our next webinar is going to be on Google Analytics 101. So stay tuned for that invitation. And we'll also be sending this webinar recording either this afternoon or tomorrow. Thanks again, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, everybody.